everybody, Mike here with iSMELL. Hope this video is finding you well, that you are smelling great and feeling even better. I'm not going to waste too much of y'all's time today. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we will be teaming up with one of my favorite people in this entire fragrance community. That's Scott over at ScottAromatico. For those of y'all who are not already aware, I was featured on his channel a couple months ago at the beginning of winter, and we did, your standard conventional top 10 winter fragrances list. The crazy part is, though, those turned out to not be the fragrances that I wore most heavily for winter 2022. Being now that winter is wrapping up, I thought it only fitting to reach back out to Scott to see if he wanted to be featured on my channel. That way we could showcase another top 10 of fragrances that we actually wore for 2022. So that's what we're gonna do. In a second, I'm gonna hand it off to Scott. He's gonna give you 5 fragrances that he wore the most heavily during 2022 for winter. Then he's gonna pass it back off to me, and I'm gonna do the same. In the spirit of not rambling though, I'm gonna hand it off to Scott. Let's see what fragrances he picks.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited to be a part of Mikey from iSMELL's channel, as I'm sure he just got done saying all kinds of wonderful things about me, and I really appreciate it. But really, honestly, Mikey is the shooting star in the fragrance community. He is taking off and going places. Please make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel and make sure you follow him on Instagram. Once again, Mikey, thank you so much for having me today. And today we're going to be talking about, as Mikey has already said, our top 10 most worn winter fragrances. Because guys, spring is just around the corner and we are wrapping up winter. So let's talk about the ones we wore the most. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, I wish I would have known this fragrance was going to be so hard to find this winter. Coming into the spring, it has been very difficult for a lot of you to find, as you have told me in the comment sections and through many conversations, and that's none other than YSL's Tuxedo. This is an absolute gem. It's an absolute masterpiece, and like I said, it is so hard to find. It's a little bit on the pricey side. There's so much good about this fragrance. Let's go ahead and spray. This fragrance, absolutely amazing, stunning in every way with that violet leaf. The violet leaves gives it a fresh cucumbery scent. It's citrusy, there's a hint of rose in here, there's a lot of patchouli, and it's just got a nice boozy aspect to it with that bourbon vanilla. This actually fits the name because you want to wear this on a fine evening out. If you're looking to garner some confidence, this will definitely do it for you. This is sleek, this is refined, this is gorgeous, this is absolutely what you would think a scent would smell like, named Tuxedo. Now, for those of you guys who are looking for an alternative, since it is so hard to find, no further than alt fragrances. They have a nice inspiration called Suit and Tie. You all know about Moustache EDP, but that one is getting hard to find as well. We have Alexandria's Black Tie. Sammy Andreas, of course, has one called Brown Sapphire, and on and on and on. I think they even have one at Sensual Obsessions as well. All right, guys, the next fragrance I wore so much this winter is by George Zaharoff himself. This is Zaharoff's signature Tobacco. Look at this bottle. Look at the attention to detail, guys. This fragrance is absolutely so gorgeous. Let's go ahead and spray it. Oh my gosh. What's not to love about this fragrance? It's an absolute masterpiece. It's so boozy on the top from the cognac and rum. You have a nice dryness to my nose from the pimento leaf and the tobacco leaf. The tobacco leaf is very prominent. This is a very tobacco forward fragrance. There's a lot of tobacco fragrances that are very sweet. They're overpowered by the honey or by the vanilla. This one, to me, stands forward with the tobacco. There is a nice honey in this one. There's also some vanilla, some tonka. And with that booziness, it's just absolutely delectable. It is absolutely delightful. Man, this fragrance, you have to have it. If you don't, run over to Zaharoff and get you a bottle right now. I get about 8+ hours on my skin with this bad boy, and it is well worth it, and I'm glad to have it in my collection, and is definitely backup bottle worthy. All right, guys, next one on the list is from the House of Argos. This one is called Dene or Deny, depending on how you want to say it. But guys, this is an absolute masterpiece. A 10 out of 10. I wore this one an absolute lot this winter. This is one of the best pickups I've made all year round. From how heavy the bottle is to the attention to detail, you want to add this in your collection as soon as it comes available. I don't know if they have any right now, but that's okay. Go ahead and pre-order. I have a discount code. Also, if you want to go to ScottAromatico, you can go ahead and get my discount code, or just DM me on Instagram, and you can find it there as well. This is so amazing. It's got a bright, creamy, lemony opening. Absolutely amazing. It's slightly woody, lots of patchouli and musk, and I get 8 hours on my skin. And this is a patchouli bomb, and I absolutely love it. And for that reason, is one of my most worn winter fragrances. As keeping it moving, the next one on my list is by Guerlain. This is L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Man, oh man, oh man. What can I say about this fragrance? Woo! The plum notes, the cherry note, there's an almond note that you'll find in every single one in this line that with that combination just makes this a delicious gourmandish fragrance. Also, there's a slight hint of tobacco. It's not a tobacco forward fragrance. This one is absolutely amazing. It is so, so good with that plum and cherry note. Slightly woody and just a slight nuanced leather note in this one makes this so spectacular. This one is hard to find as well. I got mine from Donatella Fragrances. Check them out. They have a lot of hard to find fragrances. So there you have it. That one is L'Homme Ideal Extreme. All right, last but not least, a fragrance that I wore a whole lot. I had the original, but I had to get the Extreme because so many of you were telling me I was missing out. So I went ahead and got it. And boy, I was not sorry. This is by Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. This is a beautiful, gorgeous vanilla bomb. There's a slight tobacco note in this, but it's, you know, it's ever so slight. It's not that strong. If you hate tobacco, that's okay. You'll like this fragrance. You'll hardly notice the tobacco in this. There's a little bit of vanilla, a lot of lavender, and just a slight spiciness coming from the pepper. So for me, I absolutely loved this fragrance, and it just cuts and slices through the cold like a ninja. It is so, so good, and I get about 8 hours on my skin with this one. So those are my most worn winter fragrances, and thank you so much, Mikey, for having me on the channel. I'm going to turn it back to you, and don't forget to subscribe to Mikey, guys. Love everybody. Peace, love, ciao.
Thank you, Scott, for sharing some of your most worn fragrances for 2022. Several of those I have already got my nose on, with the exception of that Argos. You and I might have to figure out like a private decant exchange or something, because every single person I've heard talk about that fragrance has had nothing but positive feedback. But I'm not gonna ramble. I'm gonna hop into my 5 fragrances. The first one I picked up for $20 in a local private sale out here in Austin, Texas. It comes from Salvatore Ferragamo, and the name of the fragrance is Umo Signature. If you like sweet fragrances, this one is, as the name would suggest, a signature worthy fragrance. This one's gonna put you in a similar ballpark as something like Polar Red Extreme, Halloween Man X, Code Absolute, and then obviously the original Umo, because Signature is in fact a flanker. Despite as dark as the bottle is, the juice isn't as dark as you would think. This one is centered around a triad of notes, that being a bitter coffee note, a smooth leather, and then you're gonna get a dark tonka bean. This one opens up bright citrus, aromatic. It's gonna move into dry herbs and spices, and it is going to have a warm, creamy dry down. All these 3 notes play beautifully off one another. The performance is good. Longevity is good. In general, it's just a pleasure to wear, and I can confirm every single time, most every single time I've worn this fragrance, I have received positive feedback. This one is your borderline gourmand. Just make sure you go into it knowing that you enjoy coffee notes, because this literally smells at its core like freshly brewed coffee beans. A fragrance that I've been wearing a ton this winter. At the number 1 spot, Salvatore Ferragamo's Umo Signature. Okay, so the second fragrance on this list today is one that I had not anticipated enjoying as much as I have, but that's exactly what happened. At the number 2 spot, coming from the house of Boss, we're talking about Boss Bottled Oud. This one is not an overly complex scent profile. In many ways, it runs rather linear, but everything they put in here just works together very harmoniously. What they did with this flanker is kept the original DNA, the spiced apples, the cinnamon, and the sandalwood, and then they added oud to give this fragrance another level of complexity. At the $60 price point, this one absolutely is pleasant. If you are new to the note of oud, this one might be the most friendly oud on the market. Even if you're an oud snob, this one is certainly one that you can appreciate. This one is warm, fruity, spicy, and fresh all at the same time, and it borders on being a gourmand. It's an absolute pleasure to wear every single time I wear. In fact, I actually find myself gravitating to my fragrance shelf just to smell the atomizer on that one. For that reason alone, it deserves to be on this list. At the number 2 spot, Boss Bottled Oud. So the third fragrance I'm going to talk about was featured in last week's video, but staying true to the theme of fragrances that I wore the most for 2022, it deserved a spot on today's list as well. Fragrance number 3 comes from the house of Rasasi, and the name of the fragrance is La Yucca Wam. For those of y'all who did not watch last week's video or have never heard of this fragrance, what La Yucca Wam is one of the dollar for dollar best alternatives to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather currently on the market. This is a serious fragrance that runs rather mature, but in cold weather, this fragrance absolutely shines without a doubt about it. This one is through and through a slightly sweet leather bomb. Smells amazing immediately. What you're gonna get on this fragrance is animalic leather. You're gonna get a smooth suede accord. You're gonna get slightly sweet raspberry, and then dark, smoky, woody notes in the undertones of the fragrance. Dollar for dollar, again, this is one of the better alternatives to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. I do encourage you to check this one out. For $60, you will be leveling up your fragrance wardrobe with niche level juice. Definitely a fragrance that deserves to be on this list because I've been reaching for it a lot this winter, La Yucca Wam. Okay, so fragrance number 4 is a darling within the community, and for good reason. It's because it smells amazing. It just so happens to be a fragrance that I've been wearing a ton this winter as well. Scott showcased the extreme version. The one I've been wearing the most is Guerlain L'Homme Ideal EDP. Dollar for dollar, this might be one of the best cold weather offerings currently available in the designer realm. That's because it's sweet, but it's not too cloying. It's masculine, but it's also modern. It's warm, but it never gets suffocating to the people around you. All in all, this is a cherry leather scent that has a warm, creamy, vanillic dry down. It's a beautiful fragrance. All in all, one of the more complex scent profiles that you are going to find. The price proposition is good. The complex scent profile is appealing, and it's super versatile. You can dress it up or dress it down. It's gonna garner you attention, and it smells amazing. I can smell it in the air. It's a fragrance that deserves to be on this list and everyone else's list, in all honesty. It's one of the better fragrances currently available. Get you a bottle. If you don't enjoy sweet fragrances, just try it out, but I think you'll like it. I think you will like it. This fragrance is one of those fragrances that turned me on to enjoying the cherry note. At the number 4th spot, a fragrance that I've been wearing a ton, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal EDP. Okay, so the last fragrance we're gonna talk about today, and if you're still here, big salute, is a fragrance that my wife gave me for Christmas, and over the past couple months, I have been wearing it a ton. It comes from the house of Dior, and the name of the fragrance is Fahrenheit Le Parfum. This one right here is a flanker to an extremely popular fragrance which came out in 1988 called Fahrenheit EDT. It is a polarizing scent profile because many people think it smells like gasoline. I'm here to tell you that this one does not smell like gasoline. The OG is in this one. It retains a bit of the DNA, but this fragrance, the Le Parfum version, stands on its own merit. This is a flanker in the truest sense of the word. This is going to be a semi-dense, boozy, vanilla, leather fragrance that smells amazing. They do have the violet in here, but it works in a different way. Instead of just overpowering the fragrance, the violet actually keeps the vanilla from becoming too cloying, and it gives the fragrance an ozonic nature that smells amazing in the air. Out of every single one of these fragrances, this one is the one I enjoy the most. This is the one I just spray on and go. It smells masculine, smells vanilla, it smells boozy, it smells ozonic, it has awesome longevity. The price point isn't as high as you would think. You can get this size bottle for around $120, and for a fragrance with this much longevity, this much complexity, this much masculinity, has a little bit of everything. This one right here is signature scent worthy for the winter. I love this fragrance. I absolutely love it. I'm so excited to have it. I'm so happy that she got it for me for Christmas. It's a fragrance that I've been wearing the most this winter. Definitely check out Fahrenheit Le Parfum. All right, you guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. Those are 10 fragrances that both Scott and I have been wearing a ton this winter. I want to thank Scott for teaming up with me to do this collab. Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate that you would knock this video out. I am going to be transitioning the channel over into spring fragrances, so stay tuned. I have this vision of doing a lot more collabs, so you never know who's gonna pop up on the channel. I am also in the works of starting to do live streaming, so that's also coming down the pipe as well. Either way, we have a ton of exciting content coming up, so make sure you subscribe. Click the button. It takes like 2 seconds. It's good karma. I certainly do appreciate it. And while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to Scott's channel as well. I really do love and appreciate all the support. Until next time, you guys, y'all take care. Stay safe. Bye.